Hey guys. So I'm up a little bit late. Well, it's not late. It just feels late because it's like the seasons are changing. It's being darker earlier now, so it all seems like longer than it actually is. But it's really like it's only 10:07 California time, but it feels later. But yeah, so I'm on my phone talking to my friend and like just on texting, and I get another text come in from somebody else that I work with, and the headline simply said Trump and Melania have COVID-19. Now, earlier in the day, his one of his top advisors had gotten it and had to be quarantined and whatnot. And so Donald and Melania were going to quarantine themselves as well because his top advisor had it, and she was on a freaking plane with them and traveling around the country with them. They decided to quarantine while they waited for their test. And lo and behold, they have COVID. Now, it's funny. Every election cycle, I've noticed that they usually have what happens what's called an October surprise, where something will happen that'll throw the election out of whack. So last time, Hillary had the whole email scandal during the whole summer, and then it kind of went away. And then in October, the email situation came back into play, and it completely like ruined her chance at becoming president, even though they found that nothing was happening with the emails at all. So I was thinking to myself literally like 2 days ago, like, okay, it's September, things are going pretty smoothly. Just had the debate, but you know what? Like, it's just it's something's gonna happen every time there's an election. October comes around and something last minute happens, and I don't know what it's gonna be. What could the thing possibly be this year? And I'm thinking like maybe Joe Biden will really go senile, or Trump will do something cataclysmic that somehow manages to rattle up his supporters or whatever. And I was like, I had out of my mind in any way, shape, or form that Trump would actually catch COVID. And then today, October 1st, he gets COVID. Now, far be it from me to laugh at a man or make fun of a guy who catches this thing because A, I don't want that bad karma out there. And also, realistically, this is a deadly disease. So if it goes too far at his age, he could die from having COVID. And I don't wish that upon anybody, even my worst enemy or people that I really strongly disagree with or don't like. Okay. But I just find it interesting that this is a man that has been saying since February that this whole thing was a hoax, that it was a thing by the Democrats that was designed to try to help him to make him look bad and not allow him to win re-election. And then he kept saying all year it's just going to go away, or he'd say things like, well, young people don't really catch it and it's a disease that just comes and goes. It's almost like the flu. It's not a big deal. And on top of that, then he's saying stuff to his supporters that look up to him like he's some kind of god, and saying things like, don't wear a mask, we can it's okay to socially gather. Matter of fact, let me have some rallies that are inside where you guys can come by the thousands and not wear masks. And he did all this ignorant bullcrap during the summer as he saw people in his camp getting sick with COVID, and in Herman Cain's case, actually dying from COVID. And yet and still, he was pushing this agenda that everything's going to be okay, and that I guess he felt that he was invincible, that nothing was going to happen to him, and that he'd be perfectly fine. And so now I'm just curious to see what his followers are going to do or say, because they can no longer say that masks are a bad thing to wear and that they're not effective, and they can't say that, well, it's just a hoax and we're taking it too seriously and it's not a big deal, because their guy that was preaching all that crap to them now has COVID-19. And it's just amazing. Like this whole year, I mean, I had people that I know personally that have caught it, or people that they caught it and they were able to get well from it, but or they had it and they just they got well, but it was still like lingering symptoms still. And from what I heard from them, it is no fun to have COVID. It's no fun to play around with it. They're like, everybody's saying this thing is a hoax, like they're out of their minds. I have a Facebook friend of mine that's been sick since like June and is still like in the hospital, still having a hard time breathing, but yet and still, because COVID was made to be a political thing, it became this thing where, well, if you believe that COVID's a thing and you're wearing masks, then that must mean that you are against the president, and how dare you, and we're for the president, so we're not going to wear masks and we're going to do whatever we want. And now, what are those people going to do? Because again, they can't say that COVID is a made up thing. Their guy has it. And it makes me wonder what Trump's going to say now and what Trump's going to do. Because again, Trump still this whole time, his whole family was at the freaking debate not wearing a mask. And what's even worse is that because COVID takes a long time to show up, think about it. Trump was in a enclosed area in a room. Biden's there, Mike Wallace is there, family there, people there. So Trump could have actually spread this to more people beyond just the people that he was around, but other people that he came into contact with in the people that prepped him for the debate, other family members that we don't know about, people that he met with backstage prior to the debate. Like, this goes beyond just him. Because his sorry behind didn't want to think this was a real thing and wanted to do this thing where he's like, well, I'm going to show everybody else I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm not going to get affected. Now he's infected. And again, it's sad. It's one of those things where it's like karma's the bee, and it came back to him. But again, I don't wish that on him. Like, as much as I do not like Trump, I do not wish him harm. And I hope that this is the thing that goes over fast. I know there's a debate happening in 2 weeks, and typically you have the quarantine, but now it's one of those things where it's like, first the disease has to leave his body, and then he has the quarantine. So we're pretty much like, as far as I know, the debate you saw Tuesday might be the only debate we get. Like, we'll probably have the vice presidential debate next week, but in terms of like these other debates that are scheduled for the calendar, those are not happening unless we're doing it by way of Zoom or some other kind of way where you're in a field and you're like far apart. But that's just like, it's a done deal, man. It's a wrap. It's just not gonna happen. And I feel bad for him. I really do. I feel bad for him, and I feel bad for Melania and all the people that he was around that wanted to plead ignorance and wish that this thing wasn't a thing when it really was, and do all the things that people like that do. And then I also I feel bad for him, but then I also feel like he was an a-hole for convincing millions of his followers and fellow Republicans to not follow protocol and to be like, well, the Democrats are saying wear masks. We're not going to wear masks. Well, now all those rallies he held this past week, he held rallies this past week. Again, COVID can be in your body for like 4 to 7 days before it even shows up. So during the course of being at these rallies, he could have also been around people and got them sick. And now those people go home and spread it. It's just a horrible situation all around. So I'll be looking as an audience member, looking to see what's happening going forward, but this is not good. This is very much not good. If anything, this gives Joe Biden a few extra points to say, I don't think Joe Biden's the kind of guy that'll be like, I told you so. I'm not mad if he becomes that guy, but he's typically probably gonna be like, hey, even though I don't like you, we tried to warn you, but it is what it is, but hope you get better. But Trump just, God dang it. He's just, I don't know. Like, I don't want to insult the man while he's being sick, but he just wasn't thinking, and he's so narcissistic that he turns everything into himself and what he should be like, and like how everything's great about him. And it's like, that's the problem with having a narcissistic complex, is that you think that no harm can come to you and that you can bully your way into whatever situation you want and it's going to go your way. COVID does not care if you're Republican, Democrat, narcissist, or not. If you get infected, you get infected. So you can try to play it now like, oh, we're in a quarantine, we'll be fine. You don't know that. And I hope you are fine. But man, like, somebody commented and said Trump's own mismanagement of COVID got him sick. Yeah. Everything from back in February when he was saying like, oh, when his advisors told him COVID is coming and it is deadly, and those tapes came out, he knew that this was coming and that it could be sickly and deadly, and he decided to play the ignorance card for, what's this now, month 7, for almost 7 or 8 months, acting like it's no big deal. It'll just go away. It'll just go away. Like in the spring or in the summer or in the fall. It'll just go away. And now he's got it. And I hope for once his idea of the sickness going away proves to be true. But God dang it, you could have just been, why couldn't you just be normal? Why could you just be normal and just be like, oh, there's a deadly virus. This is not a political virus. It is a human virus, and we're all humans, and we could all get infected. Let me manage this the right way, versus the excuse of, I didn't want to panic people, which is a lie. That's a lie you're saying to your base now, so they won't kick your butt for the fact that you just wanted to try to use this as a means of using it against the Democrats to show that the Democrats are using COVID against you to try to not get you reelected. You dumb person. And that's the nice way of saying it, because I don't want to curse, because I want to make sure people can watch this, but you dumb freaking person. My God, like, Oh God, it's just irony. It's just so ironic. The dude that was pressing this thing not being a thing now has the thing, all because he didn't want to agree with some Democrats about it. Maybe we should do. Maybe we should have people just wear a mask. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Maybe we should have people not gather. No, no, no. You can't tell me what not to gather. And now you can't gather with anybody because you're in your freaking White House, quarantined for the next 2 weeks minimum. Again, I don't want to laugh at you because if you die, I don't want to have this being like, oh, see, he was laughing at you and because you had COVID. It's not funny, but man, like you dumb, stupid. Oh man, so let's all send some well wish cards to the White House people. Let's root for the president to get better so we can elect a new guy in that's gonna be better as president and just I don't know. It's crazy. But anyway, that's really all I have to say. At this point, I just feel like I'm going to be repeating myself for the next hour saying just you dumb, dumb, and then you know what and so forth. So have a good night, people. And this is just breaking news. So I'll be up for the next few hours just reading up on what's going on. But like, it's not good, people. It's not good. But we'll see how this affects the race. Because that's ultimately, I said, this is the October surprise. So who knows? His followers might be ones that are just like, well, yeah, he's got COVID, but you know what? That doesn't mean anything, and we can still vote him. This and that. Like Trump will be on his damn near deathbed with COVID, and people will still be like, I'm gonna still write Trump in as a potential winner. He'll be in the White House in a coffin, but he's gonna be better than Biden. Like, and I hope Biden doesn't catch it. I hope Biden was far enough away from Trump during that debate. Because I know, as much as Trump was yelling across the stage, some of that spittle might have gotten over to Biden's side and got him sick too. So we got to be look out for Biden. Biden, please, 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 please take a test and then take another test to make sure you don't have it, and then just go back to the basement. Go back to the basement until the election day hits, and then come out and say thanks for voting me and people, and then go back to the basement for another 2 months. Like, just stay away. Stay far, far away. If you ain't got it now, don't do nothing else. All right. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Um, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm out. Peace.